So I am Ed Klem, the real estate guy, call a banker.
All right. Oh, how long you been in real estate for?
I was licensed. I've been in for October. This will be my 33rd year.
33rd.
Yeah, 1992.
Boy, it doesn't make sense because you're only 40.
I appreciate that, but you will get a holiday card from me.
Okay.
How old are you?
I'm 25.
So my youngest son is your age.
Oh wow. Yikes. All right. So let's think. Any crazy stories of real estate? That'd be fun.
Oof, man, where do I start? So do I just like funny stories?
Yeah, funny stories.
Macabre stories.
Something that'd be fun for the audience.
Something that would be fun for the audience.
Or
fun
tip.
for the audience. That's gonna be a good one.
Or a tip.
Yeah,
Like
really
don't
fun
poop
ones
in my
I've had.
open house.
I've had, that's always the fun ones. Like, when you're taking bars, is the water on? That was kind of a fun thing.
Oh my God.
That was always a good one. And obviously, showing properties with women that are expecting. It's like so that's the last thing you want is well, you bought the house, you just had a kid in it. It's like don't whatever you break, you buy kind of thing. Man, I haven't really funny stories. That's per se. I've had a plenty where like you bring the buyer to the property, you open the door, and it's been like their best friend since they've known for 20 years.
Okay.
So now the buyer now knows the seller, and the seller knows the buyer, and I guess they don't talk to each other that much because they've known each other forever, which is always a good one because that deal's getting done because they like each other.
Yeah. Really drop you.
No, they don't. No, they can't do that. That will never happen. Man, other funny stories.
Or crazy. Anyone like pull a weapon?
I've had. Well, weapon, not really. You get in. Sometimes you get in some dangerous situations, which, back in the day when I worked on a lot of foreclosures and REO properties, you're walking to a lot of vacant properties. Unfortunately, some of them are in the greatest spots. You've got squatters and stuff like that. That you kind of gotta, just be that nice guy and be the voice of reason.
Right. What do you tell them?
Just first of all, you tell them I'm a real estate agent. I'm not here to bug them, harass them, or get them in trouble. But I would like them to leave and that kind of thing. They're usually pretty cooperative. But yeah, it's been an interesting 33 years. Interesting stories. Yeah, you may not want to use that one. No.
All right.
I did have a client that had a small villa, and she proceeded to show me the master bedroom closet, but behind the door there was another door, and when you opened it was like her mini bondage room. So yeah, that was a fun one.
Okay.
That was a fun one.
What'd you say?
I knew I recognized you before. No, I'm just kidding. No, it was a very uncomfortable situation for the client, obviously, because we were like, okay, now what do you say? At that point. So we, I had to come up with a safe word.
What was the biggest home you've ever sold?
Well, I actually would have been about 1.9 million. I was believe it or not, another foreclosed property that I ended up with the buyer and the seller on. Just because the buyer lived in the neighborhood and knew the value of the house. Unfortunately, the seller of the house was a former #1 draft pick in the NFL.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was an unfortunate situation. It wasn't happy, although he was very, very much a professional. Treated me well. I treated him well with the respect that he deserved. It was just an unfortunate circumstance, but it all worked out in the end. But yeah, it was $1 million. I ended up with both buyer and seller on the property, so that was probably the biggest one.
You work with famous people a lot, or?
I have done a number of fair share of those. For the most part, though, they keep their you're not really dealing with them. You're dealing with their personal representative or their PA, the person that represents them, or their administrative assistant or their executive assistant. So usually you're dealing mostly with them. Oh my geez, I'm trying to think how many of the people that we have. A lot of local celebrities, a lot of TV news group people we've worked with before in the past. We've had sports people that we've worked with in the past. a bunch of Marlins players. You know, it is South Florida, so I mean,
True.
everybody here is pretty much a celebrity.
You've always worked in South Florida?
Yes.
You grew up down here?
Yes.
What high school you went to?
St. Thomas Aquinas High School.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Go Wildcats.
Oh, Western.
Or no. What St. Thomas is?
The Raiders.
Oh, the Raiders.
Get it right. Get it right. You just lost like 405,000 followers.
Oh shoot! I went to Cyprus.
The Lightning.
Go Lightning, yes sir.
Sorry. So yeah, at least I know the mascot there.
Yeah. Where'd your kids go? They went.
They
to
both.
St.
Yeah,
Thomas?
everybody went to St. Thomas.
Really?
Yeah.
Any teachers you remember that? Your
All of
kids
them. I mean, all of them. I
They
mean,
had
actually,
like repeat, like they had you.
well, no,
and
my
kids?
the actual principal of St. Thomas was my Spanish teacher.
Really?
Yeah,
Does
still
he
there.
remember you?
She, Denise Aloma.
Okay.
Yeah, she and her husband was also a Spanish teacher, and yeah, I remember a lot of them. I don't know many of them are still there. My baseball coach was our American history coach, which was Ed Waters. I don't know how many of them are still there actually teaching, because that was 20 some odd years ago. Hopefully they're
Right.
probably all retired by now.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. Did you actually like say hi and like when your
Of
kids
course,
went there?
of course,
That's
of
pretty
course
cool.
I did.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I? Yeah, yeah. Why not?
Cool.
It's all about networking, right?
True.
So Ed,
Right.
two things outside of real estate.
Yes.
What do you like to do?
Oof.
What can we find you doing?
So, right now it's golf. I've been an athlete all my life. I've pretty much played every single sport, and golf is the most humbling of them all, because it's literally just one-on-one. It's you. It's mental. It's physical. It's thinking. It's overthinking. It's not thinking enough. All those challenges. Kind of like in real estate. Sometimes you outthink the situation. You outthink what people are thinking, and they're just a simple answer at that point. Outside of that, I've done a lot of coaching. I'm actually the assistant varsity softball coach at American Heritage. I've done that for
cool.
4 years. I've umpired high school sports. I was a baseball, softball, and volleyball umpire for 6 years.
That's where
So
I
did that
recognize
as
you.
well. So yeah, I mean, it was fun. Just staying active, just staying busy,
Okay.
stuff like that. So, like to fish when I can. Like to boat. Like to go to. I have a place up in Fort Pierce. That's kind of like my little relaxation zone. Get over the bridge, just completely decompress, turn the phone off, stuff like that. So
That's nice.
yeah.
So bringing it back to real estate. That's where we start with real estate. Bringing it back. I'm sure you've coached a lot of new agents along the way.
Yeah.
What stands out for you?
More or less their ability to listen. Look, we all see it. I mean, you can't turn on the TV these days without some sort of real estate show that just super glorifies our industry, right? And unfortunately, new agents who are coming in the business just think that's what's going to happen. They're going to, list $1 million house the next day. They're going to sell it, and that's, they're going to keep doing that all. It's not that easy. So you're putting in the time. It's making the contacts. It's being professional. It's given more benefits sometimes than you get, and that's how people remember you. It's like, what did you do over and above what pretty much anybody else can? So it's really just listening. Listen, there's a financial start that you need to make sure you can make, because you may not get a commission check for 3, 4, 5, 6 months. So it's just keeping them grounded and staying balanced, and just guiding them on that and providing them the resources to do it. Because I've seen more agents burn out in 6, 7 months, because the first people they call is their mom, dad, cousin, uncle, twice removed. Yeah, do you want to buy? Yeah, they buy, and then in 6 months they don't know what to do. So it's just finding that and kind of guiding them on keeping that balance. That just don't burn yourself out in the business, because you can do it a lot quicker. And it's easier to get out of the business than it is to stay long in it.
Mm. So if you had to start all over, what would be your go-to recruitment method for
recruitment or getting business?
Getting business? I mean,
So it was kind of funny because it's what I've been promoting to the agents that I teach now. It's basic stuff. It's doing basic items, door knocking, mailers to certain neighborhoods that you probably live in or you know has a good turnover rate. Calling around. You can always call around somebody else's listing you just sold if you don't have one. I love that one. Well, I don't have any listings. I don't have any sales. I'm sure your office does. So ask an agent if you can call around. Do open houses on properties. Volunteer to do open houses for other agents, because trust me, there's a lot of times that the other agents are super busy and that seller wants an open house. Well, if you're available, do it. Now you're picking up buyers. The seller gets to meet you. You get to have a conversation with the seller, down the road. They're going to make recommendations at some point. So yeah, there's a lot of things that really don't cost a whole lot of money that you can do as a new agent, but which gives you the highest rate of return. Like I know if you don't spend a whole lot of money and you get a listing, that's a pretty big return on your investment right there. Mm-hmm. It's just you got to be willing to give up your time. You got to create a schedule. That's huge. As far as a new agent, if you can get that schedule and your mindset down, that this is the time I do this and this is the time I do that, and that's the time I preview properties, it'll make your job that much easier. Previewing listings, going out looking at what's available in your market. So when a buyer calls you, you can give them information right there. You sound like the professional. So those things don't cost you anything in this business. Our MLS was a big book about this thick. There was no automated, no computer. You literally had to open up things like the yellow pages and flip through by price, by location, by this, and that's how you found the property. You would literally write it down on a piece of paper. You'd have to call the agent about how to show it, all that fun stuff. Forget lock boxes. You were getting keys.
God. Wow. So how often were those updated?
Like literally every month. Like literally every month. There's this big blue book of MLS. Yeah, some of us old timers will know what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys got it easy now, you whippersnappers.
Was this your first job?
No, so I actually went to school. I got 2 degrees. I got a degree in business administration and a minor in marketing and management. And I was actually going to be an accountant.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I actually spent 1 year going through working for somebody who was a tax accountant. And I literally left there saying there's no way I could be an accountant. And I fell into the business consequently because the girl who's been my wife for 30 plus years basically got me into business because her mom owned it.
Okay.
So she was part-time putting herself through college as a teacher, and back in 1992, she worked half the time and made a decent income. And I'm like, what am I doing? I'm answering phones. I'm doing bank ledgers and bank statements for people who can't balance their checkbook, and she's making 60, 70 grand doing it. By 1992, that was a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what the hell? So I went to go do it, and I started by answering the phones.
Okay.
So I learned answering phones and listened to conversations, and then got my license, and the rest was from there. We just never did anything else.
Was she the broker manager?
No, her mom was.
Oh, the mom was a broker manager.
Legend. Jerry Sullivan was a legend today. She was 35, 37 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's still doing it?
No. Unfortunately, she passed away a couple of years. But we had a tiny office, like maybe 40 agents, and we were the top 5 in the nation.
Wow.
The number 1 was a Century 21 Tennis Realty, and they had like 300 agents. So our little tiny little office was keeping up with them the whole time.
What do you think it was?
Just great agents, and working in a great environment, and working in the city of Plantation, which was up and coming at that time, and still is now. And it's probably one of the few cities in Broward that literally has a market for everybody. They've got condos that you can buy back in the day, and then there was like single family homes, and there were start out homes, and then there were bigger houses like in Marcano Estates or Plantation Lakesites, and then you got into the Plantation Acres, which you got into the acreage. So it pretty much crossed every income area. So those are your repeat clients. You sell a condo, 5 years they buy a single family house. Another 5 years they're buying a bigger house. Next 5 years they're buying a house in the acreage, and you go about that way. So it's kind of like a cabinet versus being like one neighbor that all they sell is $1 million plus homes. Well, there's not that many buyers on the market. There's plenty of younger buyers out there right now.
Right.
So yeah, that was a good time. We had a good time.
I think you broke everyone's heart when you said that you were married. Like all our audiences.
Sorry.
All right, well, thanks, Ed. I don't want to waste any more of your
No,
time.
I like this is the stuff I like to do. I mean, it's been in it for so long. I like to, like I said, it's all about giving back.
Good.
You know, so
I appreciate that.
I appreciate you having me.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Well,
Absolutely, Blake.
We'll see you.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah, next time.